7:05, welcome back. It is 104.5 The Zone and the Dunkin' Donuts Wake Up Zone. Alongside Mark Howard, I'm Kevin Ingram. Brandon Haggerty, our producer. Frank is out this morning. Our buddy David Beauclair in the house from the Nashville Post. And right now, a chance to catch up with Tom Welling. He is in the new movie Draft Day in theaters tomorrow. We've seen some of the previews, Kevin Costner, Jennifer Garner, among others. What's going on this morning? How you doing?
Mark, Kevin, how are you? I'm good.
We were good. You play NFL player Brian Drew in this movie, and one thing, as a sports fan, when you watch sports movies, you want it to be authentic and realistic. What are the challenges and pressures of making that happen as you play this role?
Yeah, I'm a casual sports fan, and so I was able to sort of reach out to a couple guys, one being Matt Leinart from the NFL, and we sat down and talked about the challenges it is, off the field to be an NFL quarterback and sort of what that means in your life and your relationships, and so that was a big help for me. I don't have to throw the football, which was helpful. But they talk a lot about how my character plays.
I've seen some other interviews you've done, talking about playing opposite Kevin Costner. What was that experience like?
I mean, I was like a Kevin Costner fan getting to meet Kevin Costner for the first time. I mean, literally, I was, and then 20 minutes later, I'm in a scene with him. And then afterwards, I had to remind myself that I just worked with Kevin Costner. It was all sort of not a blur, but sort of like it was a dream state, I would say.
Also, too, your character is an aging quarterback who has to worry about a younger quarterback being drafted. Is that one of the storylines that people in everyday life, I guess, can relate to?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, this is a guy who's probably 34 years old and already a dinosaur, in his sport. He's already a veteran. But a lot of the NFL guys I talk to, they realize every day, and they use it as motivation, that there's someone either trying to knock their head off, literally, or take their job. And I think that, for my character, he's fighting for his way of life and everything that he's, built for and tried to get ready for in his life. He doesn't want it taken away.
How much interaction do you have with your coach, Denis Leary?
Unfortunately, Kevin and our characters never cross paths on set, but as you'll see in the film, it feels like we did. They talk about my character a lot, and so it feels like we worked together.
What about the process for you? As you said, you didn't have to throw the ball a lot, but just, in terms of knowledge. But what about your background athletically?
I grew up, soccer, baseball, a little bit of baseball. I was always outside throwing something around, kicking something.
What about the way they're marketing this movie? Going on sports talk shows. This is kind of new media. The way the movie business decides to spread the word. Going on ESPN and other sports networks like that.
I think it's a great idea. It's the first film that the NFL has ever endorsed, and I think that gives us an authenticity, and I think it gives us a license to sort of be on these shows that you're talking about, because sports fans are not going to feel shortchanged when they go see this. They're actually going to feel like they have a window into something that's actually taking place and feels like it's based on a true story. So I think that there's a little bit more acceptance for us to be a part of those shows.
What was the level of access from the NFL to get you ready to at least give you a real feel for what this whole process is like?
Yeah, I think it was on a couple different levels. Well, I mean, one, we got to actually be the Browns, which I think helps. We weren't some, fake team, the Sharks or something like that. When we got to go we shot at the real Browns training facility. I got to go to the Browns training camp for a couple of days. We got to shoot at the actual draft last year. I mean, that's real, actual footage. So all of that helps gel the film together.
What did you think about the way that the film was edited? When you actually saw the final cut of it and the way the scenes were put together.
I thought it was great. I mean, it was better than even I thought it would be. And they do this thing with transitions, or on camera, you get to see one guy on the left, one guy on the right, and then they cross frame. And once you see the film, that'll make a little more sense to you. But what it does, it keeps the pace going. It's like relentless. It feels like there's a bomb going to go off, and Kevin Costner has to disarm it. It's a really fun story.
You talk about working with a lot of great actors, but what about Ivan Reitman? His body of work so phenomenal. But as a director, what stood out to you with that experience?
His honesty, and what I mean by that is he's not afraid to tell you something isn't working and that it has to change or how to fix it. But he's also very supportive, and he tells you when things are working. And so that honesty is something that I value very much in a director.
Are Browns fans going to love you after seeing this movie?
I hope so. Cleveland was very welcoming to us, and it's funny how life is imitating art a little bit for them this season. With the draft picks and what they have to do with their quarterback. So it'll be interesting to see what they think.
Will you be a Browns fan from this point forward?
I'm already more of a Browns fan. I was checking on them last year a little bit, and I would only want to see them do better.
What about going back in your career? You played Clark Kent in Smallville. Are you amazed at the amount of mileage that show got? And I'm sure people still recognize you for playing that role for so long.
Yeah, it's crazy. 10 years. It's even now saying it's odd. When you're doing a show like that, every year the show is canceled, and then it's brought back a month or two later. And so every year you're out of a job, and then you have to wait to hear, if you come back, and next thing you know, that the series is over, and it has been a decade. I don't know if I've still wrapped my head around it.
How different is it playing, in a series like that versus doing a movie like we're talking about here?
I would say it's the difference between a sprint and a marathon, I think, in many ways. I think with the films and playing different characters, you can do different things and then move on to different projects to tell different stories, where in television, the challenge is to tell a version of the same story every week, but to keep it interesting. Is
this one of these movies, because there are so many, accomplished actors in it, that you might hang around a little bit longer and watch the scenes that you're not even in?
Oh yeah, totally. I've been to 3 screenings already. I still sit through the movie. I'm going to another one tonight. It's fun. I really enjoy watching this movie. When I saw Kevin the other night in L.A. after a premiere we did there, I was like, I think we made a good one. This is a really fun movie.
Well, Tom, we'll let you go. Best of luck with the film. We appreciate the time this morning. Thanks for spending a few minutes with us.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Kevin.
Okay, take care. All right, that's Tom Welling in the movie Draft Day, which will be in theaters tomorrow. And for a long time, he played Clark Kent in Smallville with they're the stars, the Western Kentucky Hilltopper and Michael Rosenbaum. I know Seth Everett's a huge fan of that show, so
yes,
I'm sure he'll be impressed.
A lot of good
house.